This is the review for the final exam for the Photoshop portion for digital photography class. You will find this image in the Common Drive to exam folder. So it'll look like here, here, and here. The first thing I'm going to have you do is save as. So you're going to save as, and you are going to save it somewhere on your own H drive, and make sure that you name it your last name exam, and make sure that you save it as a TIFF. I would prefer you to save it as a TIFF, actually, because that preserves your layers. So it's going to look like this, and you're going to save it somewhere there. And then you are going to go find it again. And there's mine. You're going to right click and copy it, and then put it back into that Common Drive and paste. So I know that seems a little bit counterintuitive, but I can't let you save as, because I can't let you save as over other people's work in case you forget to change the name. All right, so I just wanted to make sure that I covered that part. All right, so it's going to look like this. Number one is clone out the 5 marks that are there. You are welcome to use the Band-Aid tool. It works fantastic. It says clone, but again, I'm not going to know the difference just as long as that is indecipherable and I cannot tell that it's there. The tools in Photoshop have become really good. Just in case you want to clone, it looks like this. I'll just go ahead and show you another mark. There's one. It's Alt-click, and then you can use the clone tool that way. All right. So I don't think you'll need to do that though. Number 2 is increase brightness and contrast. Looks like this. So I'm going to say up the brightness a tad and increase the contrast just a little bit. I do not recommend using adjustment layers. I recommend going image adjustments and so on. You're also welcome to use levels. All right, number 3, duplicate the background layer, and you can do that with Control-J, or you can right-click and duplicate the background. And you are going to add a layer mask to that. Bring this up and add a layer mask to it. And then you are going to erase the sand on the background copy. So here on this one with the layer mask, you are going to erase the sand with a soft eraser brush. So it's going to look like this. Make sure foreground and background are black and white. Make sure your hardness is at 0, and I'm going to recommend using a really big brush. Click away, and I also recommend making your opacity about 50%. So you're just going to go in and you're going to erase all the sand, and the sand is showing through that transparent wave. This is in the Turks and Caicos, by the way. It's a really beautiful place. So it's going to look a little something like that. As you can see, I have erased. I'm going to increase my brush a little bit. And you're not going to be able to tell that you're erasing, but you can only tell that you're erasing by the layer mask there. All right, so the next one, you are going to use color balance, and that's Control-B, or you can go image adjustments, color balance, and we are slightly going to increase the red on this layer. So please don't make it look like you murdered a dolphin. That's too much. You'll get it wrong. All right, just a tad. It's just a tinge. See the difference? Okay, that's actually what it looked like when you're there, and we're actually taking the opportunity for that complementary color scheme. Okay. Number 4, insert a picture of your own into the sand or sky using layer mask and opacity settings in a surrealistic way. Easiest way to do that is to go to, you can just open it, or you can file place, however you want to do it. I'm going to select this, and I am going to just simply select this camera, copy, and paste. I do need to bring it to the top of the layer palette, and then I'm going to Control-T, and I'm going to integrate it into this environment in an interesting way. So I think I am going to put it kind of up on top of that. add a layer mask. All right, so as you can see, I am just blending this in using a layer mask. And make sure I get some of those clouds in there. Oops. All right, so that's probably good enough. Just kind of integrate it with those rocks. Okay, so I went in and I, you know, erase those edges, and now I am going to just bring down the opacity just a tad, just to make it integrate with those rocks. So that works for me, just something like that. Obviously, you would take all these marks out. So number 6 is place your signature. So the easiest way to do your signature is like this. So mine is right there. And into the lower right side. And then you are going to make it slightly greenish blue, and you can do that with a color overlay. And there is the color, maybe a little more green. Not quite that green. Right over here. Yeah, something like that. Just a bluish green works for me. Say okay, and then once you're all done with this, it should be pretty easy for you to turn it in. So you're just going to go File, Save As, and bring it back to the Common Drive. And you should be able to, there's my Dukowitz exam, and you should be able to save it right into there. Say okay. If not, we should work it out. I do have special security on that Common Drive. Okay, hope that helps.